I still remember the day my mother called me, her voice steady, her eyes full of that quiet wisdom only years and heartache can bring. The divorce papers were barely dry, and my world felt like it had been split in two. I kept replaying every moment, every argument, every what if, and if only. But she said something that stuck with me, something I didn't want to hear at first. She told me with her encouraging voice and said, "It's good you didn't have children with her. God has plans for you." At the time her words felt cold. I thought she was just trying to make me feel better, to patch over the emptiness with platitudes. I could hear her opening her Bible and she read Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." I'd heard that verse before, usually on graduation cards or coffee mugs, but in that moment it felt different. Jeremiah spoke those words to people in exile, people that lost everything familiar, who were living in a foreign land, wondering if they'd ever find their way home again. This verse hit close to home. I was exiled from the life I thought I'd built, the future I'd pictured, having kids, a family, and a home, all gone. I felt like I'd failed, like God's plans for me had been derailed. But as I sat with those words, I realized something. God's promise wasn't for an easy life or a life free from pain. The Israelites had to wait 70 years to see that promise fulfilled. Most of them never saw it in their lifetime. But God was telling them, and me, that even in the middle of brokenness, He hadn't forgotten them, that His plans were still good, even if they didn't look the way I'd hoped. My mother's words started to make sense. Maybe it was good I didn't have children with my ex. And not because children aren't a blessing, but because God was sparing me. And maybe them from more pain, maybe God was clearing the ground for something new. Maybe, just maybe, this wasn't the end, but a painful and necessary turning of the page. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11. Isn't a guarantee that life will be smooth, or that I'll get everything I want, but it is a promise that God is at work, even the mess that He can bring. Hope out of loss, a future out of ruins. I'm learning to trust that, to believe that my story isn't over, and that God's plans for me are still unfolding. Plans for hope, for healing, for a future I can't yet see. So I hold on to that. I take comfort in knowing that, like those exiles, I'm not forgotten. God's plans for me may not look like what I expected, but they are good, and that